All right, so this is a situation that I really don't want to. I did want to get into, but I didn't. Now I'm here. So there's a bit of drama in the Shiba Inu community between Matthew Perry, the guy I look up to. He's. Let's just turn on the light for us real quick. The guy I look up to and that's mentored me quite a bit. I've been watching him for months, probably like 5-6 months. I respect him and he's done so much for me, and it just really bothers me to see what's going on. So I'm not going to speak too much bad about the developers. I'm just going to kind of touch upon some of the things that's been discussed. I most definitely have more of a relationship with Matthew Perry than I do the Shib developers, even though I have enjoyed quite a bit what the Shib developers have been trying to make out of it. The coin is the one that got me into crypto. I mean, I buy a little bit of Bitcoin, buy a little bit of Dogecoin, but it wasn't really anything for me till Shib. So it really bothers me to be in this situation. I don't know much about the Shib developers. My hope is that this brings the community more together than separates. I don't want to trash talk them. Just kind of talking about this, make a video. Like I said, I don't know them personally. I'm not going to try to speak to their character, but this is what's going on. So, a long time ago, there was Ask Doctor, and there's some situations that came out, and Ask Doctor claimed that they're for the Shiba Inu community and they're going to work for them, and they're always posting stuff for Shiba Inu. And that had a huge fallout, and they deleted all their posts. Then a couple of weeks ago, we had Stephen Cooper, and he kind of had a situation also with Shib developers, and he didn't seem like he wanted to trash talk them, but he announced he would separate ways on April 1st, which was a huge shock to everyone because he was one of the big burners for it, something that we always look forward to. He's most definitely did a huge push for the community, which we all enjoyed. So now we have a situation that's kind of been going on. Okay, so obviously he hasn't posted much about it. He's deleted most of it. I don't think he really wants much to do with Shib anymore. I'm just kind of going to scan through. I haven't checked in a day or two. People post Shib to his things. Like here he says, I won't be supporting Shib ever again, though. Wish everyone luck. I appreciate that. You don't always have to have... you can, try to leave on good terms. If you look at Matthew Perry's site, I mean, it wasn't just Matthew Perry that they talked about. They talked about shibaburn, and they talked about Duncan Gray. But, okay, so understanding transparency. This is the article that's been posted to this Shiba Swap webpage. It discusses how they would like to protect the community. It kind of bothers me about the transparency thing because I don't know who the developers are. I mean, I said that from the beginning, like I don't know who the developers are. And I really don't want to speak to their character because the hope is that they see that the drive that the community has and see that posting stuff or talking stuff about people that have worked so hard for the community in a negative light does more division than it does unification. This is a 13-minute read, but I'll kind of go through a little bit at a time. The defense breed emphasizes the importance of transparency, safety, and risk mitigation above all else. To fulfill the true spirit of decentralization requires honesty and integrity by all parties involved. I believe everyone can agree. They said during their last Ask Me Anything event, the breeds blog posts were created by two of the breeds most commonly known by the community, Defense and Growth. This was specifically to bring more understanding to the realm of transparency and to show how the two breeds operated and worked for the community. In order to protect the ecosystem from malicious attacks taking advantage of the community, we do extensive research and form initial investigations. While these investigations are being conducted, the breeds do not comment on anything publicly. The importance of this is threefold: to begin the examining and public information that we collect from the blockchain itself, to establish an understanding of the community sentiment, and to give ourselves enough time to produce a well-informed statement about our findings. So I hope it goes into where it has done these things. Because there's a lot online, and there's, screenshots and just like videos of the conversations that's been had. And it seems kind of, okay, so they said they examine information. They establish understanding of how the community's sentiment is. Community sentiment right now, sentiment is for burns. That is a huge driving force. It's one of the driving force. It's the way many of us, including myself, believe that we're going to reach our 1 cent, 10 cent, dollar dream of Shiba Inu. Of Shiba Inu, I must also say, because there's bone and leash in the ecosystem. So, burns, as I always have to say, lowers the supply so that the demand, if the popularity maintains the same, that with the popularity being the same and the supply being limited, that it'll drive up the price. Because there's like, two Superman comments, and they're worth $1 million because no one has them. But you got comments out today that are Superman, and there's so many of them, it's just so flooded that it's devalued. So the hope is that with the less of them out, the more valuable they be. And with us getting on, when there's a lot of them, we're hoping that when there's less of them, our 1 million can turn into 10,000, 100,000, million. This is not financial advice. Do your own research on all that. But I don't see where they're talking about understand the community's sentiment, and to give ourselves enough time to produce a well-informed statement about our findings. The defense breed, this is bold. The defense breed did not want to write this blog due to the privacy of others, but due to allegations we feel we need to be transparent to the community and for the Shib ecosystem. We have no plans to continue this childish back and forth dialogue between parties. It would probably be better if they left out childish. Any back and forth dialogue, it's irrelevant. Okay. So here's where I guess it goes into it. It says, examining the blockchain. While the blockchain information is public, we need to be certain that we are reading the information accurately and making informed decisions. In several cases, a project might look great from the outside, but digging through the blockchain can reveal the ugly truth. And at the end of the day, we as a team and the project do not want to hurt any outside tokens or projects, but we must provide a level of transparency that the community will both understand and accept as it relates to the circumstance in question. So this isn't explaining. This is not telling me how they examine the blockchain. This is just stating again what their desires are. So malfunction. Okay. Gauging community sentiment. sentiment. The community sentiment is extremely important to us. After all, we do what we do for the community. That's why it is important to us to be able to see how the community responds to a new project, making an entrance into the space without our actions influencing their opinions. So I know with Matthew Perry, he had great desire to reach out to these people, the developers. So I don't know the details of what's transpired other than, the messages that's been shown. But I don't see what this article is really meaning when it says this, because it doesn't explain to me how they did this. It's just stating their desires. So I'm going to kind of skip ahead because it says it was 13 minutes. I really don't want to go into 13 minutes worth of this. Be careful when you see people shrilling new projects on social media time and time again. Many of them profit off manipulating and interweaving their audiences. It's easy to be tricked. Always be skeptical, especially of paid influence scammers and masters of the deception. So one of my questions is, they're talking about scammers and media influencers. And I'm trying to figure out, let me look up the age of Shiba Inu token, CoinMarketCap. So if we look at CoinMarketCap and we look at the age of this, the earliest I see is 2020. I don't know for sure, but I could almost guarantee that Matthew Perry's been showing his face, doxing himself, revealing who he is, building up a community. So, we can look back at Matthew Perry, and I really recommend you do, because I want you to get both sides of this. And I'm doing my best to give both sides because I think it's only fair. We're not gonna find peace in this community without understanding one another. So they're saying that they try to promote an AMA with the people of Shiba Inu developers. I personally haven't seen this, but if they were, I do believe that they would have been invited. If they chose to come up or not, I don't know. I don't know the details. Just being transparent. That's one of the things he says it said right here. It's a shame that Shib guys had no time to turn up, but I think that says it's all conspiracies as far as we and anyone who joined are concerned are squashed. Hope for a lovely end on your weekend, and thanks again. It says, I just want to say Shaitoshi and Milkshake are 100% behind the project. They're not against this in any way. They are 100% behind the burns. There should be no concern behind burns. So, to our knowledge, they were for burns because we had situations with Stephen Cooper. He was one of the ones that was talking about burning, and it was a big partnership or help between the two, the Shiba Inu developers and Stephen Cooper. That's not anything. Why wouldn't you think that? That's what they've been telling us, or that's what we've seen. That's what the community's been desiring. And then selling out your fan base. Here's where we start getting into it. Matthew Perry, an official team member of Shiba Token, had posted a YouTube channel, Let It Burn. He created a YouTube channel specifically for burning. He had to take out some money for taxes because, take out money for taxes and use the rest for the burns. And that's what he does. He's transparent. He shows the burns. He does everything I think he's supposed to. And reacting to the Twitter block that he received Trophius' personal account. To be clear, the block was made because of continued harassment. Okay, so he was blocked. Matthew Perry got a block because from Trophius' personal account. To be clear, the block was made because of continued harassment, not from Matthew Perry, but from Shiba Burn team, as well as deceptive communication that was put out by Shiba Burn project as a whole. So this was guilty by association. I hate to see that. I know Matthew Perry. I've talked to him personally. He was obviously, from what I've seen, he's trying to contact and talk to the defense team, have discussions, open dialogue, and he gets blocked. So the bridge that I would hope would unite the two hit a block. You can't get past it. I mean, you could, but it's not going to help your case. Anyway, you go through the token out. He claimed the revenue from the channel was going to burn Shib. At this time of the response, Matthew has burned 110 million Shib. Now that's incredible. That's not a small feat. I have 25 million. That's 110. That's a lot more than I have. About to get into buy the dip token. Is falling hard. I don't know if they researched this, but basically someone bought a ton of it and then they sold it and it dropped. He was trying to control the supply to where people could buy it, and there wouldn't be a whale that came in and bought it all. If you watch his videos, you would know a lot more about this. And this right here is hearsay. It's talking about what people have said about it. And it kind of bothers me because it's like, how are you going to post about this stuff and not let someone confront them or at least explain? Have some communication. I don't know what Trophius has done. I don't know how much he reached out, how much research he's done. I don't know how many hours. I just see what I'm seeing in this article. It says, the defense breed do not tolerate targeted harassment in any form, not afraid to stand up to manipulators. Wish they would name call, wish they kind of explain more and help people understand. So Matthew Perry says what he says here. I'm not going to repeat it. He says, I will still work hard as I can for the community. He has worked hard for the community. They talked about desiring, community's sentiment. Matthew Perry told me that he was done with Shib. I'd probably sell maybe 25 or 75% of what I own because it's hard for me to see when we look at. Queenie said that some of the developers weren't interested in burns. I know that they're interested in the ecosystem. They're working on different things that, grab more attention so it's more usable, that it's more widely used. I love it. But I don't feel like they're here in the community. And Matthew Perry, he's just saying he's going to work hard for the community no matter what, Shiba Trophius says or does to me or the community. He's working hard for the community. Obviously, he was heated, but I see nothing wrong with this. He has a problem with someone, but regardless, he shows his intentions. He's talking. I don't know what Trophius's intentions are. I can't state it because I don't know, because I don't see it. I just see this article. I don't see much on this page either. So I believe this is Trophius. So I see the art. I'm not really seeing too much about the community. Anyone that needs to hear and understand the lyrics, make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and one is gold. Do better. I don't see anything about Shiba community. I see a pet. I don't understand. Okay, so I'm trying to scan through once again. So this is talking about Shib and Inu as a previous token owned by extremely bad since huge dumps were made and for an entire month before the transition. Many called it out, but the token was a flop and went under the radar. The only one winning was the owner. It was very clear that this was dipping on holders. So I don't know the specifics of it, but I mean, I've seen a lot of ups and downs for here. I've seen a lot of downs. If you want to go down to like the past year, past 3 months, I mean, Shib hasn't been going up. You're not going to automatically assume anything. Or I'm not going to until I actually know the full situation. So this is, if I can send dead tokens to a dead wallet directly, why would I buy another token to burn Shib? This is very suspicious. To make some scammer rich, laugh out loud. So if you look at this, this is basically not given much opportunity. I mean, it's about to. But the reason why someone would build a token to burn a token is so that it's not just someone burning their token. They have something to show for it. They have a token. And that token can be used, transferred from person to person. It's better than just burning a token. And the reason why they'd only do a small percentage is because they got other things that they're trying to work on. They're trying to build up hype, just like the developers would do. They would try to make something bigger to expand upon, so that's not just burning tokens. It has an entire infrastructure to burn tokens. Like you have, okay, let's look at Wellies. Wellies is going to have a small portion of each transaction to burn Shib. Now, why wouldn't Wellies just burn Shib? Because they have a business, and their business, the better their business does, the more it helps with the burns. So the token, the better it does, the more it's able to help with burns in the future. It makes sense to me. Write in the comments where I'm wrong. I appreciate you. It says, scammer, we have more security checks than Shib. Another fact. Now, I don't know if this was heated. I don't know, but it doesn't, no one appreciates being called a scammer, especially when someone doesn't talk to them. And I'm not going to imply that no one talked to them, even though that's probably what it seemed like. But another fact would be something that I wouldn't agree with. I wouldn't say just another fact, but they know the inner workings of Shiba token, unlike the people that are stating it. So there's just a back and forth. He said, he said, I don't know. So here goes a token sniffer, anytime you start a project, shibaburn is 16 out of 100. So anytime you start a token, it's going to be pretty low until the information gets put in. So it could be 16 now and then go up as time goes on. This means nothing to me. I mean, that shows the security of the token, so, but this is newer than that, so I don't think that Shib came out the gate with 92 security score. And the funny thing is, this is a token sniffer versus an audit. So these are completely different metrics. So this is a call of arms, fight back against those intended harm. There is no intended harm that has been seen. So I think it's a big misunderstanding. That's what I'm going to choose to believe. That's a misunderstanding. I just hope that as time goes on, people will understand, people will look and past, their whatever feelings they have and just actually work, because the community really would do a lot better if people were doing this. I mean, maybe it'd be good for some competition, but maybe this gives the developers pressure to really shine, But I believe the house divide cannot stand, and I really hate to see this. And I encourage everyone to encourage the developers and encourage Shiba Token to work it out for the sake of the community. How many people like Stephen Cooper are going to come along, ask the doctor? I'm hoping that's in, only time will tell. Like, I'd hate for anything to happen with this fashion designer that's working with them. But it's not going to look good for the Shiba token if we keep seeing situations where they have bad interactions with people, where there's this hostility that keeps coming up. So it's good. It would be good for the developers to come out, at least extend an olive branch, show that they extend an olive branch, so that we can see that they're doing everything they can for the community. This is Crypto Dream. This is my take and my hope, that my dream for this crypto, our dream hopefully, that all this will work itself out. And I encourage you all to reach out to anyone you can. Please like, share, subscribe. And I look forward to our next talk. See you in the comments.